Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. Today we're on location at the Draggins clubhouse talking with Bruno Konecsni about the Draggins Rod and Custom Show coming up on the Easter weekend, as well as City of Saskatoon Director of Planning and Development, Leslie Anderson. As always, we'd like to connect with you.
Tweet us at connect_YXZ. Follow us on Facebook to watch new and past interviews, or email connectyxe@gmail.com with any future guest or topic suggestions.
The Draggins Rod and Custom Car Show is coming up, and I've invited Bruno Konecsni from the Draggins to give us some insight into what's happening and what we can expect this year. Bruno, thank you. We've done this before, but it's always great to be back with you.
Always an opportunity to chat with you and share with you what's going on and what we're developing this year.
Tell us a bit about the Draggins Car Club to start. I know there's some viewers that are new to the city and maybe haven't seen the show before. What is the club all about, first of all?
First of all, the club is all about promoting the hobby in automotive restoration in a very safe way. So we're all about getting together as a group, sharing our expertise, sharing our fellowship, doing a little work on cars, developing some ideas, doing some mental thinking about what we ought to do differently, and giving back to our community in a way that we can enjoy doing that. So that's kind of what we're about in the city.
I would also add to that fun with the number of times that I've been out to the club here and the camaraderie that you have as a group. It's captivating and it's a magnet all unto its own. When we talk about the Rod and Custom Car Show, can you tell us the dates and where it's going to be and what we can expect this year?
The car show will be at the World Trade Center at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon, April 19th and 20th. The doors open at 10 o'clock in the morning each day and they close at 10 in the evening each day. We have several hundred customs, antiques, rods, special interest vehicles on display for people because the goal is, number one, put on a competitive event. Each of the people there are going to be competing for over $10,000 in trophies and prize money. So there's some skin on the line for these folks to be there. We want to put on a family-oriented show. So the whole family can go and enjoy the car show. The kids can get a Hot Wheels car and race it at the Hot Wheels track and enjoy some of the other sights and sounds. Parents get to look at vehicles that they wouldn't often see. Particularly this year, the 2018 Detroit Autorama Riddler Award winner. This is the award given to the best custom car at the Detroit Autorama. He's coming to our show. And just last week, he was entered in the Chicago Grand National Show, and he took the Grand National Award. So we're quite excited that he's going to be coming to our show. Wanted to come to a Canadian show, and because of the fact that we are giving money to charity as a result, and that George Barris was here a couple of years ago, figured this has got to be a good place to come. So we're quite delighted. Not only that, our club has restored for the Abilities Council a 1964 Mercury Park Lane convertible. And Sask Abilities are selling tickets for $2 each. So someone is going to be going home with that gorgeously restored Park Lane Mercury convertible for $2. So that's another piece of excitement for our show this year.
And is that raffle going to be held at the end of the final day of the show then, or is it?
The final day of the show will be the last chance you can get tickets. The actual draw will be made at noon on Tuesday. That's going to be the 22nd, whatever the Tuesday is after our car show.
Yep. So you touched on the charity. So we have Camp Easter Seal that you've had a long affiliation with. I think the Draggins started, you were just a baby probably at that time.
Thank you very much. Right, yes.
Tell us a bit about your involvement, the club's involvement, and what they've done over the years with Camp Easter Seal.
We got involved with Camp Easter Seal in the late 60s as an opportunity to help one of the members' daughters who needed some prosthetics from the Abilities Council. And the more time we spent there, the more we saw the need that could be filled. And ultimately, we discovered what we call the miracle or the magic of camp. And the goal there for us is to provide children and adults experiencing a disability with an opportunity for a world-class summer camp. And amazing things happen out there for the kids that enjoy that. They talk about it all year. They look forward to it every year. Unfortunately, the demand is higher than the facility is equipped to handle, so maybe once every 2 years they get a chance to go. And the miracle of camp is what keeps us going and continuing to contribute to a worthwhile community activity through a sport and a hobby that we enjoy.
Whereabouts is the camp located, and how many kids would go through in the course of a summer, do you know?
Camp is located about 6 kilometers north of Watrous on Little Manitou Lake at a site that was initially developed in the 20s as a spa or a resort, if you wish, because of the high mineral content, I should say, of Little Manitou Lake. And that folded in the 30s sometime. The government took it over for taxes. So we, the Abilities Council rather, have leased it from the government for $1 a year for 100 years or whatever that lease arrangement is. And so technically they're the landlord. And we continue to build facilities out at camp, such as a world-class aquatic facility where the campers can leave their cabins, go down to the pool, enjoy the pool and go back to the cabins without anybody to assist them. We've built a recreational hall where if the weather isn't inclement, they can still go inside and do their volleyball, basketball, whatever. They often have dances in the evenings and things like that. So that's what the recreational facility is used for. Other major contributions have been 5 what we call medical cabins. And the reason they're called medical cabins is because numbers of campers have acute conditions that require special medical treatment. These cabins are equipped somewhat like a hospital room might be equipped, so that they can stay out there rather than be bussed in and out from the hospital during the day. So there's counselors that can stay right in that cabin, right with the campers. So that's how we've expanded the activities and the services that these children and adults with disabilities can get at camp. About 700 to 800 a year is what the facility can handle. There's the large facility, particularly the dining room, is only so big, right? And so as you rotate through the camps each year, there's about 700 to 800 that can be accommodated out at camp. And when you have 11, 12, 1,300 requests to go to camp, not everybody can get to go every year, unfortunately. So the goal is to make it totally accessible for these people and world-class in terms of the facilities that are there and the activities that can be offered.
So it's a true camping experience for any of the kids with disabilities that mom and dad would take them there on a Sunday or something like that, and then what happens?
Well, they get involved with all kinds of activities like any summer camp: horseback riding, waterfront sports, crafts, outrides or out-tripping, I guess they call it, where they get on a rack pulled by a tractor and they get towed around and go on trips and those sorts of things. So anything that you expect to see happen at any kind of summer camp, they would be able to experience at Camp Eastersail.
Do you have any stories of, for instance, of some of the kids who may have gone?
So what do you mean? So you mean like, well, how do you mean it's a miracle? Well, I'll share one with you that I recalled earlier, and that is a mother called me some years ago and said, "What do you do to my son at camp?" And I said, "I'm not sure how to respond. I'll need a little more information." And she described how her 11-year-old was born with cystic fibrosis, and she took care of every one of his needs every day. The biggest concern she had was leaving this 11-year-old, who she had done everything for, at camp with strangers for a week.
By himself.
By himself. She went back a week later, and the first surprise she got was when she went to help him get in the car. He wouldn't let her help him in the car. He got in the car by himself. When they got home, he wouldn't let her help him out of the car. He got out of the car himself. He rolled himself up to the door of the house. He went into the house by himself. He fed himself. He washed himself. He put himself to bed, which had never happened before. And so she said, "What happened out there?" And of course, that's the miracle of camp. These kids get together, they see each other who are experiencing the same sorts of issues they are. They learn what they can do. They develop that level of independence. And miracles happen when they get together. And the unconditional acceptance they demonstrate for each other is huge.
I think the Draggins need to be commended for that long-term support, and it's not just a car show. It's more than that. It has a lot more depth to it than just that. Are there any other tidbits of information you can give us about any of the cars or rods that we would probably see there, that, in addition to the one you just mentioned?
There are some outstanding cars coming, as well as the one from the Riddler Award winner. A fabulous 35 Ford Hot Rod, a gorgeous 47 Buick restored vehicle coming from Vernon. From Sherwood Park, there's some gorgeous cars that are coming as part of their interest in seeing the Riddler car and finding out how their cars stack up against the best on the continent, right? So there's a number of those. Oh, we got a fabulous car coming from Manitoba, Winnipeg. So they're coming from quite a distance to be here, to be part of the show. There's also the Hot Wheels racetrack for the kids. There's the Battle of the Automotive Technicians that are going all the time, where teams of two try to compete with each other so you can put an engine together fastest, from parts on the bench to running. So there's lots of all those kind of activities as well. And you can actually drive one home if you bought a ticket on that raffle car.
I will be there, and to you and all the Draggins members, thank you for your continued strong support and outreach in our community. Saskatoon tradition with the Rod and Custom Show Easter weekend. Thank you for making time, and best of luck at the show.
And thank you for supporting us this way.
Right on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.